All right, now as Uganda prepares to pump its first oil next year, researchers and environmental activists are calling for stronger safeguards to protect the environment from risks linked to oil production. At the heart of debate is the East African crude oil. Here's that story.
As Uganda prepares to produce its first oil, researchers and environmentalists are calling for concerted efforts to protect the environment from the risks that may arise during oil production.
And I've also observed that, of course, there's been disruption on the environment. They had to do a lot of extraction, excavations, displacing households, cutting trees to put up the different infrastructure. That includes the roads, that includes the infrastructure for the oil development. And so there must be concerted effort, deliberate efforts to ensure that the environment is catered for in terms of vegetation cover.
Uganda discovered crude oil wells 20 years ago in the Albertine Graben, but production was delayed due to lack of infrastructure for oil extraction. However, there has been growing concerns, especially between oil companies and environmentalists, who warn of the dangers that could arise from the project.
And more effort should be put on conserving ecosystem resources and restoring what we have already degraded. That's why I can now even ask you, you see, since 2004, up to now, you are counting around 17, 18, 19 years. Do you know even a 2-acre forest cover that it was put up by the oil companies? Do you know a 1 square mile wetland that it was restored by these oil companies? The answer is no.
Environmental NGOs like National Association of Professional Environmentalists and others have been involved in legal challenges against the project, both at the East African Court of Justice and through its allies at the court in France.
Serving nature than going to degrade nature to go into these dirty energy fossils that are being fought across the entire globe, that are being seen with the evidence that they are the ones that are worsening climate change. We can conserve our nature, we can earn all the revenue we want if we protect and conserve the good, beauty, natural resources that we have in the country.
Good. But also very importantly, that soil at the end of the project will be brought back. Remember, we're not picking soil from anywhere because we want to maintain the authentic nature of the vegetation here. So the same soil that was excavated from here will be brought, and studies have been done. The same vegetation that was here, like you're seeing in the outskirts, will be here because we're going to reclaim it to near normalcy like where we have been.
Our environmental performance is guided by the national laws and regulations, and as well the environment and social impact assessment that was done for this, the Kingfisher development area, which helped us to assess the possible impact such that the best mitigation measures can be input within our operations.
Uganda expects to produce at least 230 barrels of oil per day, as SIGNET Naiga, an oil drilling engineer at Sinok, Uganda, explains.
And then also we have estimated the quantities of oil that we expect to be in our reservoirs. So now when you do a calculation of for the entire Ugandan reservoirs so far that are under development, the production rate per day is 230,000 barrels per day.
To control the impacts of oil extraction, waste management facilities have been established. Luwere Waste Management Facility is one that is responsible for cleaning and disposing of oil waste at Kingfisher Oil Refinery.
Yeah, so we have 2 thermal desorption units that handle the solid waste. So basically what happens there is we heat this waste to 700 degrees, and at that temperature the base oil and the water vaporize out of it. So the base oil is sent back to SINOC for use. The wastewater is taken to the water treatment facility, and the solid material is taken to the landfill for stabilization.
Discharge effluent, which is generated from our operations, it is treated by the treatment plants, which have been engineered to that purpose. But also we make sure that this effluent, before it is discharged, it is tested and confirmed that it complies with the national environment discharge regulations to discharge on water or land.
Despite these efforts, researchers warn about the ecological risks, especially to aquatic ecosystems, and call for more collaboration between researchers, oil companies, and the Uganda Petroleum Authority.
These fossil fuels are dirty technologies which produce a lot of carbon. So we are trying to see, because remember, there is no way for us at the Environment for Development we can say, no, we have to preserve environment, there is no need of exploiting our resources. No. But how can we exploit our resources in such a way that carbons are reduced, carbons are minimized?
Those who think oil can be mined sustainably are just daydreamers, because whereas they talk about that, they cannot give a vivid example where there has been a success story in oil mining. Even these big countries in Europe, in the US, when we go to these international commitments, they are ring-fenced as the highest polluters.
Uganda's crude oil is waxy and solidifies at room temperature, requiring constant heating using electricity along the entire EACOP route, making it the longest heated oil pipeline in the world. This raises further concerns about the project's long-term climate and environmental footprint. The East African Crude Oil Pipeline Project EACOP is the world's longest heated oil pipeline, stretching 1,443 kilometers from Uganda to Tanzania's coast of Tanga. Sada Mubale, TV47, Kampala.